opportunities to share with families as a digital leader and a teacher, a computing teacher, to have the opportunities to share resources and to share best practices for you, I think is great. So this is a coding, we call it a webinar or workshop, and it's based in coding because we really believe it's an important skill for our students to have, and they really love. Originally, we were thinking about having different webinars for coding and for other creative aspects that we can still, we are not like running out of time. We can do it in another sessions. So I would like to focus in some resources, in coding resources that I would like to share with you. Great. I will be most of the time sharing my screen. So if you want to ask a question, you can interrupt. So you can unmute your microphone and say, Ricardo, sorry, I didn't understand that, or whatever question or whatever concern or whatever you want to share, it will be better, because when I share my screen with you, I won't be able to see the chat. That's an important point to keep in mind.
That's okay, Ricardo, sorry, I'm going to share. If there's any chat pops up, I'll let you know if it's relevant to that part, so don't worry about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
But being just three of us, if you want to just unmute and have a conversation. So the way that we have planned this, Emma and me, it was thinking about sharing. It's not a PowerPoint presentation, it's a PowerPoint free presentation. So I don't have any PowerPoint. I will be sharing with you all the time actual resources that you can use with the kids. And the point is that the main difference this year is that our kids, they have iPads at home. And I think it's important for you to know what can you do with the iPads and your kids at home. And as I said, coding is not the most important aspect of our computing curriculum. All of them, they are brilliant. Like the multimedia, when we create and edit audio, when we do movies, creating videos. So this one is based on coding, and I will share with you some resources, websites that you can have access online with the iPads. If you are working with another device, it's fine, but mostly with the iPads, which is the device that we have provided to our kids, and they are super happy, as you know, to use. I insist, if you have any question, anything that you want to add, feel free to unmute your microphone, and let's create a conversation and a workshop more than a masterclass, me talking and talking. I'm going to be talking, of course, yeah. There is a lot of stuff to share with you, and hopefully we will be we will have time. And if also I'm happy to translate in Spanish some bits. Just keep in mind that it will be a little bit longer, but I'm happy to do it, right? Yeah, I can see someone that maybe wants to add something. Yeah, please.
Yeah, for me it's okay in English and in Spanish. I have no problem. I don't know the other ones.
Yeah, we have.
If you want to talk in Spanish, it's okay for me.
Perfect. Perfect. I know that some parents, they were asking for a Spanish translation, and because this is going to be then shared offline for other families to have access, if I consider that is something important to be translated in Spanish, I will do it. It will be just a few seconds. So everybody that can have access later, it will find important information in both languages. All right. So the main platform, the main resource that we use in our lessons for coding is a software that maybe you will know is called Scratch, right? I'm going to be using all the resources that we have available. So I'm going to use the chat to share with you a URL. Is the URL of Scratch. Great, you got it there. Scratch has been online the last few years. So now you can perfectly have access with an iPad at home. Before that, it was only online for computers. 2 years ago, it's been online for iPads, which is so much easy to access. And at the very beginning, Scratch is being it was released in 2003, if I'm not wrong, and it was computer based software, so you have to download. And is the main platform, is very well known. It allows you to be creative, which is one of the for us the most important statements that we are always mentioning to our students during our lessons, right? Be a creator and not just a consumer. So there is two differences here, and it's an important difference. We have creators of technology and we have passive users of technology. And what we promote in our school is become a creator rather than just a passive user. So Scratch and coding in general is very related to video game. And the point here is that if our students, they want to play a video game, they have to make it. They have to code their own video games. And this is what we are doing across phases. From year 3 to year 7. I mentioned in my few lines that I wrote for you to know what it was this workshop about. I didn't include year 3 because some of the resources they are a little bit advanced for year 3. So I prefer to start going deep inside these resources in year 4 to year 7. So if you do a click on this link, you will see what Scratch is. And it could be a little bit overwhelming if you don't know anything about coding. And this is not about me training you on how to code. It's about getting engaged with our students if they are coding. I know that because it happens every day, that our students are super engaged with this platform and coding their own video games. Coding is not just for video games. It enhances a lot storytelling and animation as well. But video games, as we understand, is one of the key aspects and what they like the most. All right. So here the point is that if our students are coding at home, they can share with you, you can engage with them, and we can create a teamwork. I'm going to share my screen now to let you know what is and how it looks like. Second, please. All right, can everybody see my screen? Yes? Okay, perfect. So this is the website. Here is the link that I shared with you. And all these are blocks. So it's a block-based system, which makes really intuitive the way that we are coding and creating sequences and creating algorithms. And with this program, it's a community. This program works as a community. It's an open, free source, so you can go there and find lots of projects from other developers. And I can tell you that there are really amazing pieces of code in this community. If we go to the main home here, you will see that these are projects made by other students or made by other users. Some of them are brilliant, and our students, they really like to go inside the platform and see how other developers are coding, which inspire. It's a very good thing for inspiration. As you can see, there are some classics here. Space Invaders. This is a project, not this one in particular, another version. This is a project that we do with our year 6s, and they really love. There is a a whiteboard, paint box that we do with our year 5s, and they really like as well. And some other classics, right? It's full of classics. It's really retro, and the way it looks, so it's a very good resource. If when the students, I have my classes here, so you can see, you can have a look to my classes with all the students. This is only for teachers, of course. If the students they want to create their own account, I prefer them to stay in the classes that I have created for them. As you can see, it's year 7 included here. And but if they want to create their own account, it's something that we need to pay attention, because being smart online is a key aspect as well of the curriculum, of the computing curriculum. And we want them to feel safe when they are surfing the web, even if they are in a very safe place as Scratch is. If they want to create their own account, I always insist them they have to ask their parents or their tutors in order to have access and permission from you to create their own account. If they go with a school account, which they have all the login details that they need, from year 5 to 7, they have their own accounts. In year 3 and year 4, we're using general accounts with just one user. And I insist about the safety. This is a very safe resource. It's a learning community. It's full of other students' projects and professional developers as well. And it's pretty safe for us to use. This is why we go with Scratch. It's very well known, as I said before, and every teacher that I know loves Scratch. And to create is as easy as making these sequences of blocks, right? And then it's creating the project. It's gonna wait a second. And then once you have created an instruction, we will be able to move our characters. This is online, so to have access to this with an iPad, you have to go to Safari and look for Scratch. Do a click on the first link. If you don't do a login, it's fine. If they don't do a login, this is a resource for the students. I insist about that. If they don't do a login, it's totally fine, but they won't be able to save the project. If they have a login, a personal login, because you have given permission, or they use the school account, which is they are allowed, and I always promote this to extend their learning at home, then in this case, they will be able to save the project that they are doing, and also to share this project with me as a teacher. I can keep their progress. That's awesome. And here there is a library full of resources for them to use. They call it sprites. And also backdrops to create their own story, their own animation. How beautiful it could be to create a story about what they have done during the weekend or during the holidays. I think it's really creative and have a lot of potential that we have to go through. Do you have any question or something that you would like to know, or you would like to see a project? Please let me know. There is one feature that is new from this last version of Scratch, and is the sound editor. This sound editor has a few basic features, but enough features to cover the curriculum. We go with Audacity and other type of sound editors, but sometimes we end up in Scratch. So Scratch is such a powerful tool that we use not daily, but very, very often, because it has the coding side where we are going to be dragging and drop these blocks. So once we place here, our sprite is going to be moving, okay? So as complicated the algorithm is, we will improve our animation or our video game, but also it's a great resource that this is why I started with this one, because I think it's the main software nowadays in education for computing, because we can go to sound, and I don't think my system right now is ready for you to hear the sound, but there is sound of different animals. There is a library here full of animal effects, loops, which are songs, right? Notes for music, guitars, percussions, and some other, right? These ones are good for video games. And here you can see all of them. So you can create a music project, yes, with this software. We can also tune the electric guitar. This is an A chord of an electric guitar. So music can be taught through Scratch. Some skills I'm pretty sure they can use, and also audio editing using some of these fade out and fade in, and the faster, the slower, the reverse as well is pretty fun for them to use, and they start understanding these sound options that they can create their own sounds for their own video game. So everything around here is creativity. It's about creativity. They can create their own sounds. They can also record themselves. The possibilities are amazing. This with regards to sound, but also we can go to costumes, and what we have here, it's an image processor software, like a very little to be honest, but very useful Photoshop, or GIMP, which is a free resource that we use in the classroom as well. And here they can customize the resources, changing colors, but also they can create their own ones with these tools. Maybe you will be thinking, well, that's pretty basic for my kids, that they are into graphics or into sound, and they really like something more advanced. Yes, I agree, but it's a question of detail. It's a question of time you will spend creating your own sprites, creating your own sounds. Actually, computing most of the times, and coding for sure, it's a question of expending time, improving details. And with this piece of software included in Scratch, I can guarantee you that you can do awesome things. I've seen students creating sprites, so their own sprites, uploading their own pictures as a background, creating their own sounds. It's really, really, really complete. They have shapes, they have text, they have a freehand brush. I really love it. I really love it. And then you create your own sprite, you go to your program here, and it's automatically added rather than third-party software where you have to export into a proper file and then upload in here, which is fine for a year 6, a year 7 student, but for a year 4, a year 5, maybe they will get lost in the process. And actually, as you know, now I'm working with my computer, and mixing softwares is easier with a computer or with a laptop in my case, but a little bit more difficult with an iPad. I found it a little bit more abstract to find the resources that you are downloading. And if we talk about third-party software, external software, I don't want to give you wrong information for your kids to feel frustrated. So I'm just going to let you know that this costume, which is a graphic software, and these sounds work perfectly good for Scratch, and they can create lots of animations and stories rather than going to GIMP or going to another software that then they have to download, and there is a lot of steps to follow. And in a computer, to me, I think it's a little bit more easy to find and easy to follow these steps. And with an iPad, which is a very intuitive device, on the other hand, but for mixing and combining software, maybe it's a little bit more tricky. So going to Safari, having access to Scratch with the URL that I have shared with you, they already know, all of them, they know. If you ask them, go to Scratch this afternoon and do a storytelling about what we've done or about the movie you've seen, or create a game, it will be very, very good, and it will be enough. More things about this software. Well, as you can see, my sprite needs improvement here, right? But as I said, it's a question of detail. spending time of detail. So time management, for example, at home using this type of software is going to be very important as well, because I can guarantee you that they can spend hours and hours inside this software. It's really complete. They take everything they need. In my sessions after an hour, when I say, all right, it's time, let's go to tidy up, they don't want to leave the room. They never want to leave the room. No, let's going to stay another hour. So time management at home using software, complete software like Scratch it is, time management is important for you to know. More important things of Scratch, the tutorials. These tutorials are very good. In year 3, year 4, we start, even in year 5, we start completing these tutorials step by step. And then once they have reached some expectations and standards, we move forward with tutorials that I create for them. I'm happy to share some of these tutorials as well. So they can do a Pong game. I don't know what do you think about that, but when I was little, to play Pong or to play Space Invaders, which is my favorite video game ever, it was just to play it. It was amazing. And a bunch of years later, our students, they can code this game. This is awesome. This is awesome. So I always put the example of, imagine yourself coding your favorite video game nowadays in the future. That you are able to code. Space Invaders, for example, you can code everything, all the stages of the game using Scratch and some tutorials that I made for them. I'm pretty sure they are full of online resources around. Again, stay safe online. I'm not asking never the students to go and look for online resources without my guides and my permission. So I don't usually do that in the classroom. So if they want to do it at home, I'm always insisting of you have to ask permission to your parents or tutors before you go online looking for resources. And as well as when they are here in costumes, they have to create their sprites. But some of them, they prefer to download sprites, download characters online. And again, I insist about e-safety. Don't go to our website if you don't trust. And also about free copyright, which sometimes we forget free copyright, but it's very important. And from year 5, we do activities about how to find licenses online that they can use, bank of free resources, images, sound that they can use as well, and a bunch of resources that are free in terms of e-safety, free in terms of copyright. Talking about the tutorials, these tutorials are very complete. If we go to the Pong game, for example, they will have a video to follow. All these dots here are stages, levels of the game that they have to follow. And once they see the video, which is an introduction, they move with the arrow, and all the skills they need are here. Some of our students are really advanced in coding. They love it. They extend their learning at home. Most of the time, they're asking me and challenging me all the time to create new resources. And that's what I do. It takes time, but we go there. And some others, they found it at the beginning a little bit tricky. Then at the end of the year, they are on track. They met the expectations. But at the beginning, it could be a little tricky. So to reinforce these skills, these coding skills at home through the video tutorials included in Scratch, it's a great opportunity for them to learn and to feel more confident next day in the classroom to follow more advanced tutorial that I create for them. These tutorials are really, really good. They show how how to add a sprite, how to add the backdrop, and I'm pretty sure this one is going to show you even how to create a variable. Conditionals, the if block is a conditional, the forever loop, and variables as well, which is pretty advanced for a tutorial. But since year 4, they are creating video tutorials. I had today year 4, and they are doing a chase game that actually is inspired. My chase game, my version, which is video tutorials that I record, as I'm doing now, talking to them, working my computer, and recording everything step by step. And the chase game, you have an example here, and mine is really similar. It covers a little bit more variables. I have a score variable and a timing variable. And in my game, it's a hippo that is going to be moving around the canvas, this scenario here, eating apples. And you have a score here where you can count how many apples he's going to eat, and then a time variable here, which is the last challenge, right? How many apples I can get in 30 seconds, and counting down to 0, and then game over. They really love this. These tutorials, they are very welcome at home, so it's not complicated at all. They go to the tutorials and they can complete all of them. The Make Music, one of my favorites as well. It has some music concepts about chords or notes. We have in year 5 a project which is making your own instrument. So they have to start creating their own, learning with the music teacher about family instruments. Then we edit sounds, we tune these sounds, we customize the sound until they have their own sound, a sound that it doesn't exist, is your own one. Then they upload it here in Scratch, and they start creating a sprite, and then we move forward with some other stuff that I'm going to show you in a second. Let me think if I'm not missing anything that I would like to share with you here. They know how to move around the interface. The interface is the way it looks, right? The software, how it looks as an interface, and they already know. And I don't want to go deep inside of what it means, all of this, because it's our students, they are very proud to show you, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to stop sharing Scratch, go back to the call. Yeah. And yeah, do you have any question about that? Do you find it useful? While you answer, if you want to share something, I'm going to look for another resource here that I have online. So if you find useful, you find it tricky, do you think you can, do you feel confident enough having your kids coding next to you and you getting involved with them to engage them even more? I'm not going to pick up any volunteer. Pau? Yeah? Well, it's not Pau, no?
Well, no, I am his mom. Well, I have seen he, sorry, I will put the camera. I have seen him with a Scratch. So I know that he likes a lot because I have seen coding at home.
Yeah.
Yes, and I feel confident because I have seen how it works.
Yes. I know that they are always. So I think it's a resource that this is why it's the first one that I wanted to share with you, because it's so powerful and it has such a positive impact in our students. They always want to go to Scratch. So if I say, okay, today we go to Scratch, it's like, oh yeah, Scratch. But it's full of features and opportunities for them to learn. So they need to be guided. Otherwise, they are going to get lost and they are just going to be playing each other's game. We don't want to promote this side. We want them to be the creators. So going to create a project always is needed. Otherwise, they will lose the time, or they will use the time just exploring. Sometimes in the lessons, I ask them to explore some others' project to be inspired, but not always, because I found that if I show them that with a Scratch you can play each other's game, they are going to be all the time playing each other's game, right? So that's important to know. I'm going to show you.
Hey.
Yes, please.
And I bought my kid a Sphero ball. You know, that ball. That's nice. So cool. And very I think it's nice. I think it's something that, you know, to play with and coding and playing at the same time, doing
Absolutely.
that. And there are different versions. Point. Yeah.
That's a very good point, because Scratch is coding, and some of the resources that I wanted to share with you today, they are about coding, but it's the technology inside the box. everything is going to affect your computer. Next step is going to be taking the technology outside the box and understanding how technology can affect the real world, which is what we do in robotics. At the end of this term, we have started coding and affecting the world that we create in our computers, our digital simulations, our animations, or our video games. Next step is understanding how, with software, the relationship between software and hardware, and how my computing skills or my coding skills can have a real impact in my daily life. And this, we do it with Lego robotics, basically, but we have in Castelldefels for secondary a set of Sphero balls. And these Sphero balls, as you know, they are block-based as well. I said before that Scratch was released in 2003, and it was the, if I am not wrong, it was the pioneer of this block-based system of coding. Before that, it was typing text and symbols and numbers. Lots of developers, professional developers, when they saw Scratch and the possibilities that they have, and now that they have included a mini image editor and a mini sound editor, you got everything you need to create something great. So they went to Scratch for developing experiences and projects about coding. But I totally agree that next step for our students, even in primary or secondary, is to understand that our coding skills or our computing skills in general, they are going to affect the real world. And this is becoming an architecture of the world. Actually, there is a resource that I'm going to share. I have a lot of things to share with you. I don't know if I'm going to organize myself. There is a website that I'm going to share with you now that is full of these statements. And there is one that said, if this digital era that we are immersed now is being created by a small percentage of people that they knew how to code, how can be the future world if we teach our kids from early stages coding skills and good values? It could be awesome, but we need to guide them through all this. More than do with coding, as you can see, more than do a master class about this is how we do stuff, is more as exploration and go deep inside the computer and understanding that computers works with inputs and outputs, the relationship between software and hardware, and how my coding skills can affect or can have an impact, a positive impact in the real world. These are the three stages that we are moving around all the time. This is the resource. Where is it? Okay, just give me a second. I put it in the homepage and I share with you. This is another website that we use very often in the classroom. We use it as a warm-up, right? So before starting coding from scratch, which is a blank canvas, and you have to create code, I guide them through an amazing website, which is full of pre-made games for them to code. Very well guided as well. And here it is. All right. This is code.org. It's an American resource, and it's, well, this is overwhelming because it's full of resources. It has lots of visitors and lots of opportunities for teachers and for students as well. We will visit this Start Learning in a minute, but if we go here to stats, they have a lot of information. I'm going to code. I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy and paste this URL also in the chat if you find it interesting. Oh, thank you, Emma. I didn't see your message. Sphero, great. Sphero is a block-based system. You code, and it's affecting a little robot with a which is a ball, and inside you can see, it depends of the model, the version that you have. We have one that is transparent, and we can see all the robot inside, and also I think there are 24 LED lights, very similar as the microbits that I have here. I don't know if you can see it here, not because of this effect. I will show you later. So code.org, if I go here, code.org, right, some statements that you can have a look later with a little bit more of calm and understanding the importance of computer science and how can we solve, for example, the gap between boys and girls. I've seen it in my lessons. Boys are very interested about coding video games in particular, and girls not this much. But girls, they pay more attention in details. So at the end of the day, maybe the project of our boys, for our students, is they are a little bit more tricky, more complicated, have more levels and stages. But in terms of detail and a project, an accurate project, girls are doing better. And I'm going to the main Start Learning, and I'm going to show you some of the things that you can also go with your kids at home. Again, this is online. It works perfectly well with the iPads. Headphones are always needed. A combination between a digital device, coding, and headphones, outstanding. They focus, and I'm going to show you why headphones are needed in code.org in a minute. So, as I said, this is a platform. It's not even a website. It's a portal. It's something awesome. We don't need to create an account. I haven't created an account. I have so many logins in different online resources that when I saw that you can have access maybe to 90% of the resources here in code.org without signing in, I definitely prefer not to have another login. And for our students, is no need. Maybe with maybe no, I'm pretty sure we sign in, we will be able to save our progress, so it's easy for us to track. But I use it as a warm-up and getting to know the coding for new students, or just refreshing some coding ideas after summertime, after the holidays, after Christmas. Well, if we go down, we are going to see all these options that please feel free to visit and explore. But I want to focus on these two here. The famous Minecraft and the dance party. Okay, I have a resource that I will show with you later about more focus about Minecraft. This Minecraft here is not even a simulation of Minecraft. It's just the name. It's just the name. I've been sharing and talking to parents about the Minecraft and about the Minecraft included here, and I always tell them the same. This is not Minecraft. It's not even a simulation. It's not close to Minecraft at all. And I'm going to show you what it is. Well, you have some demonstrations here and explanations, videos. They are very, very good. This is someone here we all know, and so it's full of engagement resources. And if we go to the learning resources, you will see that again. Sorry, the sound was on at least here. I don't know for you if you can get the sound from my system, because I didn't do a tick on the system audio. But you have a video introduction. Our students are going to see this video. In second 10, they are already engaged. They are already with the headphones saying, oh, yes, Mr. Sánchez, we are going to be coding Minecraft or another video games. And this is how it looks. I'm going to close this. I'm going to show you better. So you select a character. These characters are from Minecraft, actually. Okay. They will ask you, what is the task to complete? And exactly the same as Scratch. they have to drag and drop the blocks in order to create a puzzle, an algorithm, or a sequence, and then they have to run the program. There is just one move forward that I did, one step, so it stays here. I'm pretty sure I have to do another step. All right, so this task is being completed, and you can continue. All these are activities that they can do. And it gets a little bit more complicated. And at the end, they get a certificate. Maybe some of you have seen our students posting in CISO certificates. I got a certificate of Minecraft. It's about this. It's code.org. Famous around the world, this website. Famous around the world. There is a map actually pointing the schools that they belong to. I don't know what system. And it's full. It's around the whole planet. And well, you have to complete. They have to complete, sorry, I'm saying all the time, you don't have to. The kids, they have to complete all these tasks and steps with all this information. Different things from Scratch. Well, in Scratch, you start a program by blank, which it could be a little bit difficult for some of our new students or the first time that they use Scratch online. Which is in year 3, and with code here, with code.org, they have already all the graphics done, which helps a lot, right? They have everything done, and all the video tutorials, similar as the Scratch ones, that they have to read and understanding. So reading skills as well, following instructions as well, which is they struggle a lot following instructions. They want to make the biggest improvement without debugging the program properly. So looking for the errors in the code and taking care of the details, as I mentioned before. So following instructions is always very important. And with this type of software, with these coding editors, actually, they learn how to do it. And another difference is here. They can see, where is it? They can see the code. Let me move just randomly some blocks here. And they can see the JavaScript code, which again, outstanding, because they will familiarize with the actual coding, with the text. This code is behind, just for your information, is behind these blocks, right? So when you move one of these blocks, what you are doing is typing in JavaScript this sentence. So the benefit of the block-based system that Scratch started, and code.org and some others like Minecraft actually has a coding version that I'm going to share with you, is that they are our students in early stages of education, they have access to coding before it was a little bit more difficult to introduce coding skills to our younger students because of the skills required and because it was not fun. I remember myself when I was little facing this black screen in a computer and typing with red text some sentences like these ones that I didn't understand why, and they didn't affect pretty anything. And now with this block system, I can see how these characters are interacting. I can go to Scratch, which is much more creative, and create everything from blank. And also for year 6, year 7 students that sometimes they say, I want to do some JavaScript. Well, here it is. You can at least start reading, start copying these sentences in another document, and also you will see how they actually work. Pretty outstanding resource for coding, and it doesn't require sign-ins. The teacher can be just guiding through the content. And for them, it's really intuitive to use. In half a session, half a lesson, they know how to move around. This is one example, the Minecraft thing, because I know that as soon as we see Minecraft somewhere, it's like, whoops, there is Minecraft here, right? So now you know what it means. It's not even a simulation of the game. And then, and this is why the headphones are needed, the dance party. This is one of my favorites. Dance party is amazing. So again, full of videos and how to be a digital artist as well in some other features included in code.org. Let's going to focus on the dance party. I go here, and it's a shame if you don't listen to, if I don't have the sound system connected, because the music is really fun. So they will see some introductions in videos again. Age is required always. And here is what they have to do. Very clear. Also, you have here audio. They can read it or they can listen to the instruction. And then in this one, the only thing that they are asking is to drag this to create a new cut at the center of this canvas. And when we run this, with this song that we have previously selected, and this is all the songs that they can select, they will run. All right, congratulations, you complete puzzle number 1. And it gets more complicated. And there is a moment that you can have 3 sprites, 3 characters, 3 cats or other type of animals, all of them dancing, clapping or doing movements. This resource is awesome. It has good music, good graphics. They learn about coding. They use logical thinking. They can also see the JavaScript that they are actually coding. We did even lessons that with our smart TVs in the classroom, that our students, one student was coding the sprites in order to dance, and then we were all following the instructions and doing the same movements, and we create like a PE lesson, but the monitor was in the screen, was digital, was coded by one of us, one of our students. So we had all this interaction. Beautiful. I don't know what you think. Again, if you want to share something, please feel free. I'm going to stop sharing code.org because I can stay here the whole afternoon.
Ricardo, honestly, you can feel your enthusiasm and your passion. I love it. Thank you. And I can tell that when you're working with the children, they get so much from it. I just put a comment in there that this is super creative learning, to be able to take one lesson and one format of learning and turning it into something so meaningful that it becomes a PE lesson or a sports activity. It's brilliant. The kids don't even know they're learning. And I guess that's the joy of coding.
Absolutely.
Well done. And I know it just seems like you've showed those couple of platforms there, but I guess the inspiration then is there to start looking for other ways to develop the students' coding skills. And I really do hope that for those families that have been with us tonight, it's given an opportunity for their children to have a little explore and to go on some of the online sites that Ricardo's shared there. I can see we've got one nursery parent there. And honestly, I think if you've got the passion and the enthusiasm, the kids will just take it regardless of what age they are. So super, super interesting, and definitely very easy for us to absorb into our timetable and for parents to be able to absorb at home. So thanks.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thanks. Are there any other comments from any parents or questions?
For me, it's great. Thank you very much, because Pau is playing now with the Minecraft. He has joined with us during your explanation, and now he's trying to do the Minecraft.
Well done.
Brilliant. Well done, Pau.
Okay, thank you. Well, Paul is over there. It's another room.
You tell him well done.
And now it's another in the other room trying to test Minecraft.
They just need to be taken to it, and then they find their pathways. They learn themselves. They teach themselves. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you for attending. I've been an hour talking. Sorry for that.
No, it's fine. I can see Zoe and Roban's mum is writing I'm assuming it's mum actually. Sorry, it could be mum or dad there. Sorry, writing a little message thanking you again, Ricardo.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Excellent. Okay. Carlos, okay? Are you enjoying the Sphero?
Yes.
I love Sphero. The possibility endless, absolutely endless in all subject areas.
It's really great, but I think we bought it a little bit too soon, and the kid was not really interested in the beginning. But we still have it there, and I'm trying from time to time. I'm trying to, to say, hey, let's try this again, this and that, and I think eventually he will enjoy more.
It's as Ricardo said, it's some items that we have in secondary, and it's something that I would like to see to bread. They're quite expensive, I know that, but to have a small supply in the primary school, and when the children see them being used for within different lessons, then they will probably be more likely to experiment more at home.
Yeah, because it's a really cool engine. It's so cool. It changes colors and everything. So cool.
Do you have the clear one so they can see the mechanism inside, so they can see the computer? Yeah, I mean, amazing.
Yeah, and it has a lot of colors, so you can change the colors all the time and doing directions and so many things. So cool.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Have you tried putting it in a pot of paint and putting a piece of paper on the floor? Making art. That's your next one.
Yeah.
Maybe outside. Okay, outside. I didn't say that. Okay, thanks everybody. I'm going to stop recording now. Ricardo, that's been really good, really inspiring. I know we didn't have a lot